Are you excited at the thought of growing your business? Welcome to the Hayley Osborne Show. This is the place where you'll learn how to get more high-quality leads and sales in your business. My goal with this show is to help you grow your business, be inspired, nail your creativity, get the best out of your marketing, and show up as the most fearless superhero version of yourself. I'll be teaching you the tailored frameworks and tools I use to unlock my clients' superpowers and turn them into quality leads and inquiries. And I want the same for you. I started my first business at the age of 25 and continued to build 3 successful businesses along the way. Small business owners are the backbone of the economy, and I'm here to demystify marketing, make it easy for you, and help you reach more customers. Let's do it. Welcome to another episode of the Hayley Osborne Show. I am so glad that you are here. We are on to episode 82 of the podcast, and today I have a beautiful guest joining me by the name of Rebecca Saunders. She is absolute dynamo. She is an absolute legend, and I absolutely love this woman. I met Rebecca a few months ago actually in Port Douglas, and I couldn't wait to invite her onto the podcast to share her story and her zone of genius with you. She has a cracking story. She has created some uber influential success in her life and created some really cool things along the way, and I really cannot wait to share this episode with you. We share a lot in common, and she gives some beautiful insights into so many things, and I can't wait for you to get your teeth stuck into this, so hang around. And if you don't know who Rebecca Saunders is, she is a business and life advisor for female business owners, helping you celebrate your uniqueness, build the business of your dreams, and live your best life. Grow your business by being uniquely you. Rebecca Saunders is a business and life advisor for ambitious women wanting to do life and business unapologetically on their terms. We all want to do that, right? I know that I do, and Rebecca is the person to help you do that unapologetically. She helps female business owners like you turn your uniqueness into a superpower, celebrate your successes, and create your dream life and business by design. Her online community, the Champagne Lounge, and dinner series, Business Uncorked, cool, right? Help women from all around the world have more joy, connection, and celebration in their lives. She is a bubbly extrovert, which you will see when we get started in this episode. She has her own podcast, and she is a hair-free alopecian. She is a fur mama to her mini Aussie Shepherd Bailey and lives in wine country in regional New South Wales here in Australia, where I am also from. And without further ado, let's get into today's episode. Hello, Beck. Rebecca Saunders, and welcome to the Hayley Osborne Show. I'm really happy that you are here.
I'm so excited to be here. Thanks for having me.
No, thanks for taking the time to come on. You are fire. You're doing some amazing things. But before we get into how amazing you are and all your superpowers and all the things, why don't you, in your own words, tell the listeners who you are and what you do?
Sure. So my name's Rebecca Saunders. I am now a life and business advisor for female business owners who want to turn their uniqueness into their superpower. Through that, I am a speaker, I coach, and I have an online community, which is an online cheer squad for female business owners around the world called the Champagne Lounge. And the reason I started all of that is because business can be really lonely as a female business owner, and we do get to do things on our own terms in our own way. So we just need a cheer squad to keep us on track. And so yeah, that's what I'm doing.
I love that. So let's go a little, take it back a little bit. What was the reason for starting the Champagne Lounge? Because this is a new project of yours.
It is a new project. So the Champagne Lounge launched in February 2023. It was originally going to start in my head back in February 2020. I was really going to start it back in 2020, pre-COVID, pre any of that stuff happening. And I was ready to sort of put pause on my video production company that I'd had for the previous 10 years to that, and then go, I want to do something different. But COVID had different ideas. and we got crazy busy during COVID time because everyone needed video content. But it still has an inkling there for me. And the reason it was an inkling and just such an urge and such a calling for me to do is because I genuinely feel that female business owners feel lonely a lot of the time running their own show. We never stop to actually celebrate enough and acknowledge how much we've achieved and how much we're doing. We just constantly jump to the next thing and the next thing. And so for me, it was about combining all of that. So connection, celebration, and community under one banner. What better thing to call it than the Champagne Lounge? Because everyone loves a little bit of like sparkle and VIP experience. And so it was formed just for that, really. Connection and celebration. It's got no agendas to it. There's no masterclasses. You don't learn anything. And that was deliberate because we all have such long to-do lists in our lives, both in work and at home, that it's just, it's there for connection and communication, and it's a virtual cheer squad.
Yeah, I love that it's got no masterclasses. You don't have to do anything. Cool. So the Champagne Lounge, but I want to take it back a little bit. I want to talk about your business journey from the start. So what did that look like, and what led you to, I guess, where you are now? Because I love to hear people's stories and background, and I feel like that is the thing that gives, say, someone starting out at their version of one, inspiration to get to that point, right? So if she's done it, I can do it. And I think there's really a lot of power in people's stories. So give us the 101 on the Rebecca Saunders show.
Well, I moved to Australia in 2012, and I moved with the sole intention of living in Sydney, staying in, building a life in Sydney and staying in Australia. Minor detail was that I had a working holiday visa. And so anyone that's been through that process will know that the working holiday visa gives you a year's worth of time to work in the country. You then have to do some kind of like fruit picking-y stuff to get your second year. And in order to keep staying on after that, you've got to find some lovely person to sponsor you. And in my opinion, you're then chained to them for the next 4 or 5 years while the residency sort of comes through and your citizenship comes through. And so being the entrepreneur that I am, I'm not a very good employee. Like, I don't really follow direction very well. I'm always finding solutions for things and moving at the speed of light. And so I knew that getting a job and being hitched to, tied to, stuck in a role and a company, like because of a visa, was not something that I wanted to sit with. And so I built my video production company. I founded my video production company to sponsor myself to stay in the country. And so what that meant was I could only do the job on my visa. So because of my background in journalism and media, my visa was all around content writing and script writing for the video production company. And then I had to hire a team to do all the other stuff. And so back then, I really didn't have a choice. It was like, well, this is the way I've decided to go. I've now got to find enough clients and enough projects to pay me my award rate salary from day one, because that was a visa condition, and pay my team to do all the jobs that I wasn't legally allowed to do on the visa. And so I say that out loud now. I'm like, oh my gosh, we had to, so it is possible to pay yourself a salary from day one, if you've got the right mindset to go and do that. And so that's sort of why I started the video business. That has now run and operated for the last 12 years. 12 years, I think we've run it. And it's been a journey. Like, it's been a lot of fun in that time. I've scaled the team up and I've scaled the team down, and we produced a feature film. And if you're listening in Australia, you can go watch that on Stan right now. It's on Stan. So we produced a feature film as part of that, as a passion project. We've worked with some amazing clients. We had LinkedIn and Microsoft as our first 2 clients coming on board when I started the business. Exciting, right? Yeah. And then it's grown from there, and we've worked a lot with big corporates as well as small individual business owners, course creators, content creators. And then we took on a studio space. So in the video world, video is really, really good if you've got like you can control the sound that you're filming in. And so in the co-working space that we were in, there was a studio space that came up for rent, and the whole building used to be Fox Sports. So it used to be completely full of all these beautiful soundproof studio spaces. And then there was one left because over the years they've all been ripped out to make way for offices. So I jumped in to take that on because that to me was the heart thing of, if I don't take it on, it's going to get ripped out, and then the industry is going to lose out and people will miss out on that. So we took on a studio space, and that had its ups and downs for us. It's a soundproof windowless box. So being in that for a long period of time does drive you a little bit nuts. But it was our saving grace to surviving COVID, because when the rest of the industry fell apart, we had 10 years under our belts in terms of positioning and who I am and what I was responsible for and what people knew me for. But I also had a space that enabled us to be what was the words they used? Critical service?
Yeah,
or whatever
right.
it was, because we could do live streaming. And so we were
Yep.
considered a space that people could go to. I can't think of the right phrase that they use, but either way, we had all these conditions in place to keep running. That's the one. Yes, essential services, because we were filming and broadcasting CEOs and C-suite panelists coming in to keep their teams motivated and the companies going. So it's been a journey. I still don't film and edit, and for me, the business has always been around running a business, which has been my fun side. We took it up to scaled it from zero, literally from nothing. Wanted to stop it again in February, that 2020 time. And then from sort of wanting to stop it through COVID, hit 7 figures of turnover for the first time in a pandemic. And then I'm like, okay, I want to do the passion project that I've been wanting to do for a long time. And that's how the Champagne Lounge came about. So if I take my last 12 years of business experience, that's what I love to share in terms of my coaching and the advising and things from a business side. And I love it. Like, I love doing that now. And it's hard though. It is hard, but you kind of ebb and flow through business, right?
Yeah, you do. What would be your number one piece of advice for someone starting out right now?
Give yourself grace. Definitely. And actually, and I can say that from the position I'm in right now in starting something new, because the Champagne Lounge is new. I'm starting it from scratch. It's 6 months in, and it's bloody hard. Like, I have to check myself in the mirror all the time to go, but you have, like, you've got your first 5 people. No, but now you've got 60 people. And I know you wanted to be at this point at that time, but you've, like, think of all these things that you've done and you've built from scratch again. And so you've got to give yourself grace, which is why for me, the celebration piece is so important, because we constantly look at all the things we haven't done and we never actually properly acknowledge the things that we do. And even when I talk about it and preach it and share it and have a whole business around celebrating it, I still find myself going, oh, it's really hard. Oh, I haven't done it the right way.
So let's just pause here, go back to that. Your goal was to have 50 members by, was it July or June 30?
Yes. I wanted 50 members by the end of July, and I hit 50 members on the 1st of August.
That's awesome. That's a win in my book.
Which was amazing.
Yeah, congratulations. You know what? You set the goal, you achieved it.
It's a definite win, and it keeps growing. So
yeah, and you did all the things. So I wanted to talk to you about making your uniqueness a superpower, because you and I have that like superpower kind of thing in common. And I would like to know like your take on it. So when you are speaking to, I guess, the crew in the Champagne Lounge and your clients that you coach one-on-one, what are the things that you talk about? Like, how do you start off making someone's uniqueness their superpower?
Oh, that is such a multi-layered question.
No.
And that's hard. So I think to go back to, I should probably tell my story of like harnessing my superpower, because
Yes.
that's the big thing. So for me, I've had alopecia since I was 7. Alopecia is an autoimmune disorder, which means it essentially attacks your hair follicles. There's different variations of it, but I don't have hair anywhere. So for about 25 years, I was wearing wigs every day, making sure that I was like looking the part from a society perspective, not for not because I had friends and family that expected me to do that and wanted me to do that, and that was the way of like coping with it. That wasn't the way it was at all. It was very much for me, oh, I want to have fun with wigs and I want to look and be like other people and like blend in. As most people do, because standing out is hard, right? It's hard. And so you look at my 10 years in business and the communities I've been a part of, and the way as a business owner you go through personal and professional development, and a lot of professional and personal development on a deep level. Surround myself intentionally by people who think big and are doing things differently. And so inklings had started for me, people going, you do know that if you like just went with, owned this whole hair free scenario, your business will go gangbusters. And I'm like, yeah, whatever. Fine. Ironically, like when I did decide to ditch the hair, and go out just loud and proud like I am now, that was the year that we hit 7 figures in the business. So
own your uniqueness.
Right. So owning your uniqueness makes such a huge difference. And I think it makes a difference on so many levels, because you've got to do the work. So it's not just a flick of the button, I'm going to show up that way tomorrow. You've got to do the work so that you can actually show up authentically as yourself in your own way, doing your own thing. So there is a lot of time involved, and that time and that work is different for everybody. So we start on those inklings in terms of a teaching perspective, because it isn't just a switch and it's not a golden bullet. But once you get to that point where you can ease into who you are and start sharing that piece, that's when energetically it's so much easier to get up and function in the day. Like how I remember looking back going, I literally documented what color wig I was wearing to what meeting, so that I made sure I was literally this. Like, it's insane how much I was energetically unawareingly draining myself of all the things I was thinking about before I was fully okay with being me. And that's what I share. And so I share that. I talk through that from an experience perspective. I'm very much of the opinion that when you are being yourself and energetically, everything is just a hell of a lot easier and more fun when you can just show up as who you are. And in doing that, some of the stuff just sheds off, all the people or things that you don't need around you or that are holding you back. And the word of this interview, Hayley, is hard. Like, it is hard, but it wouldn't be like everyone would do it if it was easy.
Yeah.
So the Champagne Lounge, the cheer squad, right? Because you need those people who go, it's okay. Like, we've got you. If it works, great. If it doesn't, we've still got you. Like, keep going.
I truly,
that's what we do.
Yeah, I truly believe that if the business journey was easy, 100% everyone would do it. And it's not. There is so many challenges. There's so many brick walls that you have to climb over and glass ceilings that you have to break through. And for everyone thinking, well, I'm just like an everyday kind of a person and I don't have a superpower. Yes, you do. And that is the work that Rebecca is talking about. It is work. And I have also done the work. And if you haven't done the work yet, because, you don't know what your superpower is, well, you got to go do it, and if that means taking yourself out of your office or whatever it is, looking at what that looks like for you and then go for it.
Completely. Yeah. Your uniqueness piece and your superpower is outside of your comfort zone. Like, it will become your new comfort zone, but you've got to get outside of your comfort zone to get to it.
Yeah. So I feel like you and I both, we think big. We want to surround ourselves with like-minded people. We have really, really big dreams, big business dreams. where do you see yourself in 5 years?
Oh, in 5 years,
Mm.
this is a tricky one, Hayley, because I actually haven't thought about it in terms of where I'm going to be, but I have marked like what I'm wanting to have done in that time. And so for me, my 10-year plan involves taking a year off in 2026 and traveling Australia and doing that. And I want to do that knowing that we're financially stable enough for me to do that, and I can run the business from wherever I am, which is kind of what I'm already doing. So my goals aren't necessarily, I want to tick this one and tick that one. It's actually, how can I make it so that it's financially secure without the ups and downs? That's what I want to achieve. So for me, that looks like being mortgage free and being able to help more people with my time because I have more time because the business is running in a different way. And so for me, I can't quite articulate what that 5 years will look like if you ask, because I'm living my dream life now,
Yeah.
so yeah, it's that whole, I'd love to give back more and work out how to do that in a way that is impactful to the world and the community, but not detrimentally impactful to the way I'm living life and building a financial stability and personal wealth in that way, because we have to kind of balance those two as the smart business choice. Yeah.
So how do you, with all the things going on, how do you switch off? What's your number one piece of advice? What do you do to like disconnect or just?
I don't think this is a good one for people, because people look at me and go, that's not switching off, Beck. That's not. But it is for me. My switch off time is cooking. I absolutely adore cooking. I adore hosting dinner parties. I hosted 2 in the last 2 nights. And most people will go, oh my God, just like order in. No, I don't get the satisfaction out of ordering in. So, or, all the time, or I don't get satisfaction out of going to a restaurant knowing that I could have cooked better at home had I just had a bit of time. So my downtime and my switch off time is cooking, because it gives me creativity without needing to be attached to tech. And so that's something I've trained myself to do, because otherwise it's so easy to just be attached to a device all the time. So I do the cooking, and then I also love walking my dog, and I do that without any headphones. So no music, no podcasts, intentionally just making sure it's one-on-one time. So they're my 2 switch offs.
Do you find that you get the best ideas when you're in the kitchen or walking the dog?
Yeah.
Yeah, so
completely.
Good. Yeah. I love it. So
and
good.
I'm like, oh God, I need a pen. Where's my pen on my dog walk? I haven't got it.
Don't forget. Oh, Becca, it's been so lovely to have you on the podcast. You are energy, you are a vibe. And if people want to get on that train, can you please tell us where we can find you? I'll put it in the show notes, but I'd like you to drop your things.
Yeah, so you can, my happy place on socials is Instagram. So you can find me at the Rebecca Saunders, and online, RebeccaSaunders.com or thechampagnelounge.com.
Beautiful. Thank you so much for being here. And I've absolutely loved talking to you. I think you're amazing.
Thank you, my love. Right back at you. It's been fab.
Bye.
Bye.
I hope you've enjoyed listening to this episode. If you have, hit subscribe so you don't miss any new episodes released every Tuesday. And while you're there, leave me a review. I would absolutely love to read it. Also, don't forget to tag me at Hayley K. Osborne over on Instagram and share this post with your audience so they can get learning too. Sharing is caring. If you want more, head over to hayleyosborne.com.au/podcast for today's show notes and links. Catch you next week for another episode of The Hayley Osborne Show.